And I'm getting quite bored and sick and tired, right, of people going, it's not right that clubs should sell their academy products. It's not right. Oh, it shouldn't be that way. It should be that way. Manage your books better, right? And if you're in a position where you have to sell one of these, that's on you.
Yes,
and
that's such a good point. Stop buying players.
Yeah, exactly, James. And the thing is what happens is that quality gets spread down the league. Look at what happened. Look at what happened when clubs like Newcastle, Forest, and Chelsea suddenly had to sell players in order to balance their books. You had Lewis Hall, if I've got this right, you had Lewis Hall moving to Newcastle. Excellent left back. Done amazing. Absolutely fine.
So good.
You got Anderson moving to Forest. Brilliant. Played every game this season. You got Minter, who's moved to Brighton, playing football. Brilliant. Newcastle left him. So what you're actually getting is you're getting clubs that can't talent pool. They have this talent has got to be spread, smear it across the Premier League.
Yeah, it's getting smeared across the Premier League.
All over. There's residue of talent just smeared all over the Premier League. And what do you have for it? A more competitive competition, a more interesting competition, and teams and players and fans of those teams believing in something that could be possible, in large part due to PSR spending rules. So let's not get rid of it. Let's make it harsher so that bigger clubs, like Tottenham included, can't over the rest of the competition. $100 down,
right,
and 100 megabytes up.
Victory for Allcott while streaming. Up yours.
What's yours?
105.84 download, 102.49 while streaming.
Right. Can I just do that again then? Because I'll explain. Because the upload was 106. I just said 100 because it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know what though? Honestly, when you upload a video after what I was struggling with for a couple of months, honestly, I don't think anything a man of my age can get you an erection that fast. I'll be honest.
Really? Just straight up like that?
Yeah, it was like the internet speed test itself.
You can go live if you want.
What do you mean I can go live?
You can go live with the pod. We can start the pod now if you want.
Oh, right, okay.
Because when I was talking with the boys and I put something up on Patreon yesterday.
So what, are we live now? These are the first words of the pod?
James, I'm just not sure if you're aware that Tottenham Hotspur beat Liverpool, the Liverpool, right? 1-0 at White Hart Lane last night. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. So there was a discussion, as you know, after you win a game, big game, if you win a game, there's a discussion amongst the lads. They're like, did you enjoy it? Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good game of football. Who played well? Oh, look how young our team. They're just babies. They're just little babies, some of them players. Little babies.
We little babies. Life's good.
And so we woke up this morning, and the first word in the group chat was, anyone still erect?
Yeah.
And we was like, yeah, it's not going down. And someone said it's like an ancient monolith. My erection. It's never coming down.
An ancient was never
still standing.
Who was that? Do I know who said that?
No.
That's about
it. It was one of our...
What's that? Okay, first bit of 2025. Here we are. What gives you an ancient monolith?
Yeah.
That's what we want. What's the kind of thing that would give you an ancient monolith?
Yeah, what's a good thing that gives you an ancient monolith? And what's the worst thing that gives you an ancient monolith?
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. We have our beloved patrons with us. You can also join them for less than London Pint, if you would like to. If you've got any things that turn you into an ancient monolith, like Tom Locke's just written trains, they're going to need a bit more than that. Yeah, that is... This is the dangerous ground that this bit's got, actually. I think it's got legs, because you're going to put it out there because it's a bit of fun, and then we could tear you down.
Can I just give credit to Richard Smith, who uttered the words this morning, ancient monolith.
Very good. Can I just read something to you?
Go on.
I really love to be alone without all the aches and pains and the April showers. But it ain't. The next bit's good. When it all gets darker, then the whole thing falls apart. I guess it doesn't really matter about the rain, because we'll get through it anyway.
Anyway.
And we'll get up and start again, because we could be lifted. Da-da-da-da. Honestly, am I a loser for searching for Lighthouse Family interviews where they
Hell no.
explain how Lifted came together? I don't really care. What I do know is we could be lifted, and Queen's Park Rangers are currently lifted from the shadows. Lifted. And we could be lifted up. Come on.
Mate, you're literally, this is not a joke, right? You're 8 points off playoff. You are showing form that would mean that you would be in the playoffs. There is still just under half a season left to play, wow. QPR.
Wellity. Right, so what we're going to do, let's talk Tottenham. We'll talk Queen's Park Rangers, obviously, because something's happening here. Something's going on. I don't know what's going on, but I could be lifted from the shadows. And that could well be. I'd really love that to actually be our song, because they only actually played it in the draw against Coventry. They've not played it since. But I would really like them to like somehow that to actually catch on as like the song of the season.
Jim, I don't want to be that guy, but I think they just played that song. I don't think it was like a conscious effort.
They were thinking, hey, stick together.
And you're the only one that's latched onto that. Of the 12,000 people who are in that stadium, you're the only one that's really latched onto this song.
Wow.
Can I just ask you a quick question about QPR?
Yes. Well, can I just right? So, guys, we're going to go through Spurs, Liverpool. Flav, obviously, happy about that. I've gone on Twitter and I've asked for people's what do people feel are the craziest transfer rumours so far. So we're going to rank some of those. We could talk about just general EFL Cup, although I know you're not really bothered about the EFL Cup because it's not really a trophy, is it, for you? Although you could still play Arsenal in the final.
No, hang on.
QPR and any other business can come from the patrons. It is a reset pod. I repeat, it is a reset pod.
I've been misquoted here, right? What I said is it means a lot more, and you get the credibility that you deserve if you beat, I don't know, Manchester United, Man City, and Liverpool on the way to winning it.
Yeah,
it's all I said. I didn't say it didn't mean anything. It just depends who you beat on the way.
Yeah, I mean,
because Arsenal on the way. What's happened at Arsenal? They beat Bolton 5-1. Great, that was fantastic, brilliant. They beat who did they beat after that? Leicester? Was it Leicester after that?
I don't know. Do I?
Who knows? But that was fine. That was all good. They get beat by Newcastle. Oh, there's a problem with the ball. What? Was there a problem with the ball when you beat Bolton 5-1? No. Well, didn't notice it then.
And that's why it's fine.
But you lost 2-0, and now there's an issue with the ball. There's no problem with the ball. It's just different.
What's the ball thing? I've not heard this.
So this is Mikel Arteta.
No, he didn't do that. He didn't do.
No,
yes,
he did. Oh, yeah, mate,
no, he didn't. He's had a go at the ball. No, he hasn't.
No. I don't want to misquote him. He didn't have a go at the ball. He just said it was different. And the journalist went, "Sorry, what?" He's saying that the ball is there's a problem with the ball. No problem with the ball. It's just different.
I'm so excited about this. Look. Oh, hang on. I have to bring it over here. So all I've seen here so far is this from the Daily Cannon, but the headline is EFL embarrassed themselves with statement after Arteta questioned about ball. That's incredibly biased, isn't it? Like that as a headline from the Daily Cannon.
So is he shifting blame from Arteta and he's saying the EFL are embarrassed?
Well, I don't know. So I don't really know much about this story. I was at the game. I went to Arsenal Newcastle. It was decent. I was actually lucky to get a bit of hospitality for Jimbo. Incredible food on literally it's a different planet. I felt like I was on a different planet. Like I felt like I was in
Loftus Road.
Yeah, I'd been to Loftus Road the night before, and honestly, it was. You know, what's it called? What was that cartoon called? The Jeffersons. Remember the Jeffersons? Where they were weren't they living in space? Yeah, they were living in space. I feel like if, like in real life, that came to be, and we were in a spaceship and had to live in space, that's what that would be like. Like the hospitality bit. It was
Jetsons.
enormous. And I
Boys
totally get it now why you need a ginormous stadium with an outrageous amount of hospitality, both not just boxes, but like a level above just being in, the concourse, and then a level above that where there's like a restaurant with food that I've never. Jetsons, not the Jeffersons. Jeffersons is a different thing. The Jetsons. Yeah. It was unreal. Honestly. And I was just like, Loftus Road QPR, that whole experience, honestly, it's a different species. It's a different species.
Can you then understand now why
you
so impacted?
Yes, I actually get it now. Get it now. And it's weird, obviously, like, I know, obviously I watch this football for a living, right? But I don't actually go to that many. Like, I've been to Wembley, but Wembley's supposed to be big, so like you get that. But like, I don't really go to too many of these grounds because I don't have the opportunity to, or time to, or whatever it might be. But fucking hell, it was just crazy. And there's all these like women in red dresses who are smiling at you, and you're like, why are you smiling at me? Leave me alone. It's just all a bit like, I don't know. I found it a bit not creepy. Well, just like it was just like it was. I was in the future. Stepped into
the thing is, you can't even ask the question, is it better, because it's different. It's like a completely different.
It's impossible.
Thing. But you experience it enough, and I'm not going to go on about this because I've done it, and everyone watching this has no doubt heard it if they've watched this podcast previously. But what you have is football. What we have is entertainment.
It's an Americanized experience, and really, I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think it's just like. I remember
mean it in a bad way. That's what's happened. Mean it in a bad way. It's
a different way. It's a different way that like it's a different way that's become necessary because the amount of money that is both made and then spent on players. So you have to make 4 million a match day. That's what it's about. Like, I don't think you were on the overlap this week. I didn't see all of it, but I saw a bit with Kieran Morgan. Kieran Maguire, sorry, who's brilliant.
Amazing,
and it was like, and it's something that we have all been thinking for a long time. It's like our time as like, fans that go to the ground. It's over. Like, everyone. I think that's something that I think is a real.
It's not over, James. It's over for the people that are in that top 10 in the Premier League. It's over for them. Over for us. It isn't over for the rest of football. It's not. And that's why I was so moved by QPR.
But football moves in that direction. I think that's something that's on my mind a lot at the moment. Is I think it's really interesting. So I did the podcast with the Ripple Effect with Paul this week, and it was great. But we're talking about Trent and Salah and all those players, and I was sort of I was starting to have a chat with Kai about who is Trent? Is he David Beckham, or is he or is he Owen, or is he Steve McManaman? And I then went, as I was researching for the pod, I went down that road. The situation that Trent finds himself is so similar to Steve McManaman in terms of contract running down. January, Bosman's happened. People are afraid of that. And McManaman, when he speaks about it, he's like, you cannot beat the press of Liverpool. In the terms of like, you're always going to go for Liverpool ahead of the player. But also like the media started to turn on Steve McManaman and said that the word, I had never heard this word, it was desultory. They said they started to say he was playing in a desultory manner, which is kind of what's being thrown at Trent a little bit here and there. But the bottom line is that McManaman said was that it is such, at the end of the day, players, you can love them as much as you want. They are assets to be sold, and I think it's such a thing this year with PSR that the likes of Rashford, Mainu, Garnacho, Trent, at some point there's this move from the sort of facade goes away, and fans are customers, and players are just assets to move around to try and get you to where you want to be.
And the players also know that they're a commodity and they know their worth. So that
more than ever before.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a facade. There's like a thing called kayfabe in wrestling. I don't understand how grown-ups watch wrestling. I really don't. But there is this fascination that everyone is bought into the fact that this is real, even though that everybody knows it's fake, including the broadcasters. But everyone is taking part in this massive make-believe world. Will Brazier will tell you about this. That is really interesting.
Nice bit of acting, isn't it? It's fun.
It's acting, but the crowd are involved, the broadcaster are involved, the wrestlers are involved, the journalists are all involved, and they all talk about it as if this is all real. So it's a fascinating thing. But there has been this bubble within football for a long, long time where we believed that there was this kind of sanctity about how things are operated. And Jim Irwin, and I've mentioned him all the time, especially when we're talking about this, he said to me 10 years ago, we was doing stuff at Ball Street, it was about 10 years ago, we were talking to him about his role as a football agent, and he said, all players want to move. They're always looking for the opportunity. And I went, not Harry Kane, though. And he went, of course, Harry Kane. If the opportunity is the bumper contract at the club that he's with, then so be it. But every player is thinking about what is the opportunity for me here, especially if they get to a position where they're coveted, like Trent is.
Yeah.
So he's going to look at his best move, and I don't.
And also, it's like the thing with Trent. I don't think I touched on with Paul. Was like, what? Oh, that's it. McManaman said, if they'd offered me a contract, like a fair contract 2 years ago, I probably would have signed it, because the 2 years before that I did sign it.
Yeah, that's getting forgotten.
Yeah, but that's getting forgotten. That's getting forgotten here, isn't it? That Trent now will become the bad guy. He will become the bad guy. It's a very difficult. That's what McManaman was kind of saying. It's like it's such a difficult space to be in, and it's kind of similar to Manu as well, in the sense that there's this idea that like, and look, that's a slightly different thing, but there's a feeling that because you're one of them, then you should just stay forever. But as you say, people know their worth. Yeah, but you've got to be paid. So McManaman was not getting paid well enough at all. And Liverpool accepted a couple of bids for him before all this. And if Liverpool had just paid him what they should, they'd gone, Steve, you're the guy here. We want you to be here for the next decade. We're going to give you, here, bosh, take that and a 4-year deal. Is that all right? Yeah, it's fine. You sign it. Because you feel...
How did Liverpool fans feel about Steve McManaman and that decision for him to leave?
I think people were. I think more has been revealed as time has gone on, and actually,
at the time, what was the feeling?
I think they were annoyed that he'd left them. I think that's an awkward thing for Liverpool fans, is the fact that you've got the most league titles alongside United, I think, or they're like
19 and they got 20, but they've won the most European Cups in England for sure.
Yeah. So then when players go to Real Madrid, and Liverpool fans hate Real Madrid now.
Yeah, of course. This is the thing, is that Liverpool isn't a stepping stone football club unless it's Real Madrid.
Unless it's Real Madrid or Barcelona, I think.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you Barcelona, but especially Real Madrid. But the thing is that every club in the world is a stepping stone to Real Madrid, even Manchester United.
I guess the other one is it's the distances, isn't it? So like, if you go back, there's another thing we did. We played a game. I could play it with you, actually. It'd be very good if I could find it. It was called Does It Sting? So like, we had a long list.
I know. Anybody on to Tottenham, does it sting?
Yeah. So it was like this. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
That's good. That's good.
So we did it. I found a list of Tottenham free transfers, and it was players that Liverpool free transfers, and it was players that left. There was this long list, and I went, I'm just going to say names, and if it stung, let me know. But if it was like, well, it was Gary McAllister, he was old, like, it's fine, not a problem. But like, because Liverpool's quite an interesting one.
So is it just players leaving, or is it just free transfers? Any player leaving? Did it sting? That's good.
Not any player. It was free transfers over the last decade. People that had just left on a free transfer.
How many have we had? We can't have had that many.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd just have to have all your transfers here. Maybe we could play it. Maybe we'd play it next week, or I could just do a quick. I could do a few quick ones.
I'll come up for it. I quite like this game. It sounds good. Did it sting?
Did it sting?
I might nick this for the podcast later.
It's hard to find you want a list of just like all transfers ever. That's what you want. I've got it. Well, okay, I've got it. Here we go. Don't know if you can do it that way. Players leaving Tottenham. Louis Saha.
No, it did not sting.
Christian Eriksen. I'm just trying to get a sting out of you.
No, it didn't sting.
Here's a good one. Kieran Trippier. Did it sting?
No, but he's been much better than. In hindsight, it's stung. Yeah, like there was a bit of an aftermath of the sting. Like he went to Atletico Madrid, out of sight, out of sound, out. What have I said?
Out of mind.
Out of mind. But then when he played for Newcastle, a little bit, yeah. And do you know what? We thought he wasn't good enough for us.
This is a great game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mido.
No. Where did he go? Portsmouth? No. Where did he go?
He went to
West Ham.
Mido went to Middlesbrough.
No, it didn't sting.
Aaron Lennon. Did it sting?
No, he's just giving everything to us.
Can someone just clip up just that really tight? Aaron Lennon. Did it sting? No.
No, it didn't sting.
Didn't sting. Okay.
I mean, I can give you in my hand the ones that really stung.
Can you? Paul Robinson, Blackburn. Did it sting?
Nah.
It's quite, yeah. I want to find one that stung but didn't cost a lot.
Got to sell or bought?
Georgie Popescu. Going back now.
That's a shout. Yes, that's
stung.
Stung.
It sting.
Yeah, because he stayed with us.
Yes, it stung. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Oof. Quite. That sting.
God, that stung.
Yeah, that was like a paper cut. That one because he was signed at a time where there was a massive shift at Tottenham. I don't know if this is interesting, but we were a part of the massive influx of foreigners into the Premier League. Mm-hmm. We ended up buying Popescu, Dimitrescu, and we bought Klinsmann in one window.
Yeah.
Popescu was essentially, we had 4 at the back, 1 in midfield, and 5 up front under Ozzy Ardiles. It sounds crazy, but it wasn't dissimilar in position to what you see in a lot of football clubs now. I think Ozzy Ardiles was a bit of a maverick, a bit ahead of his time, but in that era, it was just crazy. It's like, why have we got 5 forwards? The minute we lose the ball, we are fucked here. So it turned out to be.
It was ahead of its time, if you think about it. There's a video now, for sure.
But he played it. He played a back 4, and the problem is our back 4 was so bad. I think it must have been Austin Edinburgh, Kevin Scott, or no, Stuart Nethercott, and one other, I can't remember. And we had Popescu in midfield, and he was so good that we were able to get away with it for a bit. But then Barcelona
Tottenham have had... Josh, I'll just bring this across so people can see it. Tottenham have had so many... Oh, yeah, players. So many. I've said this in every bit of content I've done this week because I found this new phrase I've created. It's called the jump. So when you buy a player like a Greedy 6 team, they then for them to actually be a success, they need to be able to jump and then jump again.
Like Mario.
Like who's a good example? Like
double jump.
Like Virgil van Dijk. Jump from Southampton to Liverpool, but he can also jump up another level where he's one of the best. That's what you're after. Problem is with a lot of players is you don't know that until they kind of get there. So someone like Steve Bergwijn, he made the jump, but he couldn't jump.
Yeah, that's true.
Sort of like a jump flop. You got so many players like that. Absolutely ridiculous.
Do you know that we found out this week that Emerson Royale has won a trophy? Another player.
I saw that, yeah.
Just quickly, just in terms of what players that stung: Carrick, Modric, Bale, Sheringham.
Say his name.
No,
you're not gonna say it.
I didn't. That because it didn't sting. It was something else. That was a different feeling altogether. It was I never want to see that man's face again.
Oh dear. QPR Tottenham's well-trodden path, isn't it? Sinton, Slade, Clive Wilson.
Steve Slade,
yeah.
Anyway,
okay. Last thing on this thing. We also played something else came out, which was and you kind of alluded to it with Kieran Trippier. Was like, what should I call it? Late ache. So
late ache.
Ache. So Kieran Trippier kind of gave you late ache. That you sort of like, and so some players like they might leave in a certain circumstance, but in time. So I was saying to him, Fabinho and Mane, who do you ache for more now? Or like, who you have like those stronger feelings like build or go away?
And basically, it's kind of average that left and went on to do like really like good things. And like, how do we miss that?
See, that's it. So Alonso, Paul said, I thought this was interesting. Paul said that Alonso actually made. Alonso was okay. he sort of had good seasons and bad seasons, but because of what he went on to do after that, it's kind of then created this like rose-tinted look at Alonso as a player for Liverpool, in his opinion. And yeah, like you say, Kieran Trippier kind of went on to do great things, or like, what's his name, Prince Boateng. I just saw in the list there. Like Serge Gnabry. Actually, Stephen Webster's just checked in. That's a good shout. There are some players that like. Or is there anyone that like at the time you were happy for them to go, but now you do pine for them?
I mean, just I pine for Moussa Dembele, and he went to China, so it's not even a thing. But I miss watching him play football so much. I pine for him, but I can't think of any players that were shit at Spurs and then went on to do well. I mean, it's pretty much a graveyard. If you're terrible at Spurs, that's it.
Yeah, there's got to be. Let us know. Let us know in the comments a player that left Spurs and went on to do amazing
Kevin
things.
Prince Boateng. Prince Boateng would have been one. He went on and had a really good career after leaving Tottenham.
Yeah, sort of got above the levels of a Tottenham and went to the next level. I guess. Yeah, Emerson Royale is another one. Okay. I've got to read this article, otherwise people will be annoyed. I think Steve Webster said, what was the atmosphere like, James? Arsenal match goers starting to feel a bit tense with Arteta, or is it just Twitter noise? There was
oh yeah.
So again, I think I only heard Arsenal. I didn't hear another like that. You know those long songs that are like that. Whatever.
Well, I was going to ask you, Jim. This is going to supplement your point, but just quickly that it was remarkable, despite it being this incredible stadium and Spurs' incredible stadium, that 400 kids at QPR could make more noise than 60,000 people.
Mate, those kids are killing it right now. Like honestly,
I'm buzzing.
Especially now we're winning, mate. We're loving
it as well.
Yeah, the place is rocking a bit at the moment. Everyone's like, mate,
Mate, take me back.
We'll come
take me back.
We'll get to Rangers. They because it was quiet, but they were dampened down by. It had its moments of raw. I think it's difficult those big stadiums for to sort of get it off the ground, get a song off the ground going, and then moving quickly. I remember going when we were at Wembley, the Zamora game. I mean, I guess you've not got all the fans in one clear spot, and then it can just emanate from there. If that's the right word. But also, it was like a frustrating game for them. They didn't boo. They weren't booing at half time. I don't think they didn't boo at the end. One thing that they do.
I was watching on television. There was a bit of booing.
I don't really think it was. Do you know what? Newcastle fans are unreal though. And there's so many of them down the other end.
Yeah, they do.
Cup games, you get 10%, don't you?
Yeah, it's hard to give fans credit, but. They are fucking good fans. They do travel. You say them and Leeds are really good. Like Spurs are good as well. We sell out everywhere, but Leeds are good. Leeds are good.
Yeah. And yeah,
Wigan,
Man United away.
Wigan though, Jim. Not Wigan.
No. No, obviously not. Yeah. Shocking. What was I going to say?
Shocking. I'm going to take a picture of that. That's that bad.
Bloody article. Here it is. So, EFL embarrassed themselves with statement after Arteta questioned about the ball. This is Lee Hurley. That's Lee Hurley that's written that. The EFL's unnecessary, straight into it, unnecessary response to Mikel Arteta's comments. Shouldn't that be the EFL's unnecessary response to Mikel Arteta's unnecessary comments? I don't even know what the comments are yet, so
go on, read it.
I'm jumping the gun. On the Carabao Cup ball highlights how sensationalist reporting can distort the real narrative of a match. That is a powder keg of a sentence, isn't it? For me. The English Football League have waded in. Waded in. Everyone, I love this. Find me these kind of articles. Find me these kind of articles where it's just like the language. Everyone, the EFL, this being of the EFL has gone, right, everyone out of my way. I'm wading into the fallout of Arsenal's 2-0 Carabao Cup semi-final first leg defeat to Newcastle with a statement that added more noise than clarity. Responding to sensationalised headlines suggesting Arteta blamed the Puma manufactured match ball for his team's poor finishing, which we need to look at that. Hang on. So did Mikel Arteta, this is Lee Hurley again? Don't want to dig out Lee. Does feel quite...
Stop saying his name.
Yep, passionate. Really blamed the ball for Arsenal's defeat to Newcastle. The Telegraph claimed that Mikel Arteta blamed the Carabao Cup ball for Arsenal's defeat to Newcastle. It lacks nuance. It's oversimplifying his analysis of missed chances. But is anyone surprised?
I'm surprised you've written an article about this. That's what I'm surprised about.
Well, it's the Daily Canon. This is their business, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, fair play.
So what is the truth? All right, we're getting there now. Daily Telegraph. You're going to let me read it? Arteta blames ball for Arsenal horror show. I'd have to. I don't know how I get in there. How do I get in?
Doesn't matter. I mean, what he didn't blame. So technically he didn't blame the ball.
What's the bloody truth here?
Technically he didn't blame the ball. Technically he said the ball was different. But if you mention the ball, you're blaming the ball. Doesn't matter what you say. Just don't bring it up. And that's the problem. He didn't bring it up in the previous rounds.
Okay, Arteta's comments about the ball. It's tricky that these balls fly a lot. Came in response to direct questions about his team's poor finishing. This observation, however, was only part of a broader explanation that included tactical deficiencies and a need for technical refinement. Asked specifically what he could do to help his players find the back of the net more, Arteta said, just try and show them. Give them kicks or tips of what they can do better. We also kicked a lot of balls over the bar, and it's tricky that these balls fly a lot, so there's details we can do better.
But why do you have to be defensive about your manager? Like, Ange came out and said some mental stuff last night, and I'm like, I don't agree with what you said. I'm definitely not going to defend this if anybody asks me, but I'm not going to talk about it either unless someone asks. But
yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's like what? It's this whole thing, James. And I've said this on multiple places, platforms where I get to talk about football. If you really want to know what's going on during a game, you don't ask the fans that it involves. Like, if you really want to know why Arsenal lost, don't speak to Arsenal fans. If you want to
speak to a biased Spurs fan.
You definitely don't speak to me, but maybe speak to someone who doesn't have a dog in the fight. There was this issue yesterday with Burville, right? So did you see this?
Sorry, I was just reading two comments there that were quite good. No, I haven't seen whatever you've just said.
Right. So my point was I was making a point that there's no point asking a Tottenham fan's perspective or a Liverpool fan's perspective on Berevol incident yesterday, right? Which was he got a yellow card, right? Yeah. And then he committed another tackle, which was a yellow card, but wasn't booked. And then minutes later, actually, let me do the timeline for this, right? So he makes a challenge on, I think it was Tsimikas, right? The guy jumps over him, so it wasn't yellow card. There was no contact, but Berevol was given a yellow card.
Right.
Yeah. So it wasn't a yellow card. It shouldn't have been a yellow card, but the referee gave it. It happens in football.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I don't know, say 10 minutes later, Berevol clatters him. What is his name?
Tsimikas.
Clatters him, right? Definite yellow card. Referee doesn't give it because the game had played on. He gave advantage. It played on. They'd have a chance. Exactly. It was one of them, right? It was one of them. Now, if he was already on the yellow card, he should have 100% been sent off. He shouldn't have been on the pitch. Even though in terms of the fairness in the university and balance, it was fair that he was on the pitch because the first one wasn't a yellow card, but he was on a yellow card, so he should have been sent off.
Right.
Literally, Tsimikas goes off for treatment. Liverpool are out of shape because of that. We go up, take advantage of and score. Berevol scores. So right. Within their rights, Liverpool are fuming.
Yeah.
They are fuming, James. They are fuming. Right? They are within their rights to be fuming. But if you want a fair analysis, an overall picture, you don't speak to them about it. You certainly don't speak to a Tottenham fan about it. Find somebody who watched the game who couldn't give a shit. Who won? Speak to them. They'll give you a fair analysis of it.
But no, I think you can be willing. Like, I think you can be willing to go, this was fair or not. But there'll be those like leanings, like for sure.
So the weekend where you had Joe Linton. So Berevol plays the ball out, hits Joe Linton on the hand. The Newcastle player picks it up and scores. Right. That was the commotion. That was the big debate.
Yeah.
Right, so like as a Spurs fan, I'm going, well, they got an advantage. Even if his ham's in a natural position, the ball hit his hand, they were able to score from that. Surely that should be brought back. Newcastle fans go, no, his hands were in a natural position. It's nothing to do with him. It's just fortunate that it dropped. Carry on. If it was the other way round, I'd have said the exact same thing as the Newcastle fans, and they'd be saying the same thing as me. So it's really redundant what we think about what happens about our own team. So don't ask us. I know I'm doing myself out of work here. If you want to know about Spurs, I'm the last person you should speak to.
Okay. Yeah, you really are getting yourself in trouble here. Stephen Webster said, as an Arsenal fan, Arteta's annoyed me after that game. Stephen, if you do want to come in, because I think it's always good. People get the Arsenal fans get annoyed because I'm not an Arsenal fan, and so I let you have free reign to say what you want. So, Steve, if you would like to give your thoughts on it, do come in. I will just in the.
Have I not earned the right, Jake? Have I not earned the right to have my say?
Yeah, you've had your say, haven't you?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm
offering Steve the right reply.
Come in, Steve. Come in, Steve. That would be lovely. But can I just say, James?
Yeah.
We put the graft in for this, right? We're at a stage now where we're allowed to, we built this platform. You built most of it.
Sure.
I built a little bit.
Sure.
So we're allowed to say what we want.
No, I hear that, but I like dialogue. Oh, he's commuting. He says he can't come in anyway. It's fine. So he was then chased, as you said, by the journalist. He said it's just different, very different to a Premier League ball, and you have to adapt to that because it flies differently. And when you touch it, the grip is different as well. So you adapt to that. So here's my take on this. My take is that Arteta doesn't like the ball, and he couldn't help but say it, and he's dropped a crumb there, and the journalist has pounced on it, and so then afterwards, Arteta absolutely knows he's in trouble here. That's why he said different. It's just different, very different, because he's trying to backtrack, but he's also trying to kind of retain his point. And so really, although I'm being nuanced, he is sort of blaming the ball a little bit. That would be my take.
Of course he is. You don't mention it if you don't blame it. But the fact is no one's mentioned the ball. And he hadn't mentioned it before he'd lost. So that's the problem. He might be right about the ball. He probably has. And it's probably occurred to him before this game. But it's like David Hay after the fact that he got battered against Klitschko and then standing on a table and seeing his damaged little toe. No one cares.
Yeah. It's done now, isn't it? It's tough that with boxing, isn't it? There's so much money on the line. You've got to fight regardless, haven't you? What is the craziest transfer rumour of the January window so far, Flav? I've got a few here, so don't worry. Don't have to think.
Well, can I just ask you beforehand what you think of that fucking filthy little pig who might be signing for Spurs? Whoa,
Rashford.
No, fuck no, not him. Jesus Christ, that'd be the worst thing.
Well, that's one of the ridiculous ones we've seen.
Right.
Apparently, you want him on loan. Would you want him on loan, Rashford?
I don't want anything to do with that guy.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Why not?
No, I don't. It doesn't stir anything in me. Shall I tell you if you tell me? All right, you ask me, and I'll tell you if it stirs something in my loins, Jim.
Ask you what? What I've just asked you.
Is it just Rashford? Is that the only link you've
got?
Oh
no, there's like well, it's not all. They're not Spurs ones. There's all.
Can I give you one that is Spurs? That does stir something in my loins.
What does it give you? An ancient monolith?
Yeah, definitely. Randall Kolo Moani. Oh.
Yeah. Because he's on the move, isn't he? It's happening.
Is he coming to Spurs, though?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you want a bit of Moani?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Moani. What would be the song for him? I heard on Twitter, our goalie's called Paul Nardi, and someone did that, that song, Don't Ya? They said, don't you wish your boyfriend was Paul Nardi? I think that would be a very progressive way for us to have a song about Paul Nardi. And he is gorgeous.
Did you used to sing, you had Fits All, didn't you?
One size fits all, yeah.
One size fits all. Did you also sing Fits All, Fits All, Fits All? He's nothing like Joseph Fritzl.
No, we never sang that.
One's an offender and one's a defender. It's nothing like Joseph Fritzl. Fits all.
Colo. That's good, isn't it? McSlash. Good stuff. Colo, Moani.
Yeah,
you need someone else
100%.
then. Then what?
Yeah.
Who's your second name? Timo.
Tony Kinski.
Yeah. Nico Crancher.
Did you see him? Tony Kinski.
Kinksky, more like.
What do you think?
What do I think, Ski?
What do you think?
I think Kinski. I think I loved his moment with it. I thought the moment with his sister was pure cinema. Bloody loved that.
Fuck that. What about all the football he played on? Like, it was. I mean,
I'll be honest, I didn't watch it yesterday. I was watching Traitors.
Are you out of your fucking mind here, James? Are you sorry? Are you running? Are you? I tell you what, though, that Armani was a plank. She was.
Yeah. I still can't get part. Like, I don't spoil it for people, but someone wrote the word Nathan, with an R, and someone make it make sense. How do you get from writing an N, turning it into an R? I still can't get my head around it. Yeah. That's more of a mailbag chat. We're going to do a mailbag tomorrow, I think, aren't we, Flav?
Yeah, we're doing it
Yeah,
tomorrow
if you are a
afternoon.
Traitors fan, get involved.
Kinski then. Oh yeah. He just looks like a footballer, doesn't he? 21. It looked like we had an outfield footballer in goal. That's what it was like. That's how good he is.
Really? Was he that good? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice little story about him. Endeared to the fans early doors. Nice.
Could you imagine a week ago he was playing for Slavia Prague? A week later he signed for Spurs and starting against Liverpool.
Yeah. That's it. Do you think
keeping
Fraser?
a clean sheet.
Do you think Fraser Forster walked to the bench, looked at his seat that he'd always sat in before that, and just went, "Thank God,
Yeah,
I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm home. I ain't got to do this crap anymore."
Done his best, but yeah, 100%. Yeah.
He looks like he looks like he's got the thickest skull in football.
Yeah.
His forehead is just dominant.
Yeah. Let's do these transfers then.
Yeah. Okay, Victor Osimhen to Forest.
What?
I know. There's some belters in here.
But you don't need him. You got Chris Wood. But where is this from?
So this is I've asked people on Twitter. But Forest Fan TV. It's crazy because with Marinakis, anything is possible. Now, I would like to speak about Forest Fan TV for a second, and Wolfie, who is the main man from, who loves. I watch their videos sometimes to get a sort of temperature check on Forest. He does love to throw shade out to other fans, but that's what he should be doing. To be fair, I think it was actually they beat Leicester, and so it was completely warranted. But so and we're going to do this video again soon, actually, Wolfie. So we're going to need you again. 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? I can't remember what it was. I asked a fan from every Premier League club for a prediction, and we're doing it again. I'm literally going to message people today or tomorrow to do it. And he said that he thought Forest would finish fourth. And I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. And he had to deal with that. There's a fallout for that because I hammered him for it. Now, here we are. Fast forward a bit of time. And they're bloody second in the league. Well, joint second, aren't they?
Mate,
and they're absolutely killing it. Could they?
Could they what?
Well, okay, good question. Could they finish top four?
Yes, they could. Will they? No. That's my prediction. I think they'll finish fifth or sixth.
Okay. Fifth, yeah. Normally these things don't work out, do they?
Nah, that's just a history. I mean, do I want them to? No.
They probably need... They don't need to do as well as last time. If they can get themselves to I would say 70 points.
That's enough.
A bloody good chance.
That's a lot, though. 30 points in remaining 18 games. Maybe, I don't know. But the thing is, what I would say about them, and this is my sample pool of watching Forest is around 4 games. I think I've seen about 4 entire games involving Forest this year, which isn't a lot. But what I could see through every game that I did watch of them, including the Spurs game, that Murillo is class. The defensive organisation is outstanding. And the individual abilities of Elanga and Hudson-Odoi speak for themselves, especially on the counter-attack. But that midfield of Anderson and Yates, while unfanciable to most Premier League fans, is so effective. It's unreal. And naturally, you've got Chris Wood up top, who's always going to deliver.
You called it, didn't you? You called it. Day one.
I did, yeah. Well, I just saw his form towards the end of the season, and then you know what kind of player he is. He scored goals wherever he's gone, so it just kind of stitched it all together and had a bit of luck. But the nucleus of that and the organisation, but the key part to Forest's success is that they're all pulling in the right direction.
Yeah, and I like that they've got a hungry bunch there that actually are probably there's something in that for like any mid-table team, like getting some of those still young enough and still got something to prove off cuts, let's say, of the Chelseas or the Arsenals or Man City, whoever. And there's a few of those knocking about: Alanga, Hudson-Odoi, even someone like Elliot Anderson. That is a bit of me. I really like him. But look at their. Can you see this? Like so they've got the lowest possession in the league.
Yeah, but then Leicester won the league on something like 40% possession. So it's not.
Ali's one of my patrons says we need to have a chat, Ali. They've got the same amount of points as Leicester had at this stage when they were in the league. Coincidence? Yeah. I think not.
Coincidence in what respect?
Well, I'm just saying it's going back to the Midlands. That's what I'm saying.
He thinks they're going to win the league. Well, no, I mean, remember the standard of the Premier League that year was horrendous. That's how Leicester won the league. Let's not get it twisted. They deserved it because they were the least.
Is the league in a similar state of flux, in a different way?
Perhaps. But the reason for it, I think, it's deliberate this time. I think the quality in the league is deliberately spread because of the PSR rules, which means that you can't have Manchester United having to consider selling Kobe Mainoo because they need to balance a PSR, and I'm getting quite bored and sick and tired, right, of people going, it's not right that clubs should sell their academy products. It's not right. Oh, it shouldn't be that way. It fucking should be that way. Manage your books better, right? And if you're in a position where you have to sell one of these, that's fucking on you.
Yes, actually, that's such a good point. Stop buying players.
Yeah, exactly, James. And the thing is what happens is that quality gets spread down the league. Look at what happened. Look at what happened when clubs like Newcastle, Forest, and Chelsea suddenly had to sell players in order to balance their books. You had Lewis Hall, if I've got this right, you had Lewis Hall moving to Newcastle. Excellent left back. Yeah, done amazing. Absolutely fine.
So good.
You got Anderson moving to Forest. Brilliant. Played every game this season. You got Minter, who's moved to Brighton, playing football. Brilliant. Newcastle left him. So what you're actually getting is you're getting clubs that can't talent pool. They have this talent has got to be smear it across the Premier League.
Yeah, it's getting smeared across the Premier League.
All over. There's a residue of talent. Yeah. Just smeared all over the Premier League. And what do you have for it? A more competitive competition, a more interesting competition, and teams and players and fans of those teams believing in something that could be possible, in large part due to PSR spending rules. So let's not get rid of it. Let's make it harsher so that bigger clubs, like Tottenham included, can't fuck over the rest of the competition.
Here. 3 cheers for PSR. I bloody love it.
Yeah.
Because that's the point. The point is, the reason you've got to sell Mainoo and the reason you've got to sell those guys, or might have to, whatever, is because you gave Casemiro all this money. You spent all this money on Antonio instead of sticking with Alanga. You didn't do that. So
you could have used Alanga. Is Alanga better than Anthony? Yes. Yes, he is.
Play with fire, you're going to get burnt.
Yeah. So now Man United, potentially have to sell Mainoo to balance the books. Oh, what a shame. Fuck you. It isn't a shame. Good.
Also, to that point, actually, it's weird how it's kind of generally there's a rule: if you spend more money than others, you'll do better than others. That's the way it works. And Forest are an interesting one where I wonder if there is truth in this or not, in the sense of like they did spend all that money, and you were like, "Hang on a minute, that seems a bit much for the money that you spent." But a lot of those players have actually their hit rate is actually pretty good. Yeah. And here we are with them in third spot in the league, having won the last 5 games on the trot, equal points with Arsenal, 6 points clear of Man City after 20 games. That's wild. With that in mind, do you think they could attract Victor Osimhen?
No.
Probably not.
But that's as much to do with Victor Osimhen's character. Not to say it's bad, but I think he sees himself as a step up from almost everybody. Like, do you think Spurs could attract him? I don't think we could. So
no, I think do you what though? He's like,
he wants to stay at Galatasaray for the rest of the season. He's loving it out there. Look, so I don't know if you read this report. I don't know how much of it's true, but Napoli were furious with Osimhen for turning down the January move to Manchester United.
Oh.
because the money would have been significant, and Napoli would have got their what it
Whoever
would be
they want.
120 million euros. That's what his fee is.
What, this January?
It was 2 days ago. This came out.
Right. So Man United what? Man United have got 120 million to spend, have they?
I don't think they have. I think I can't. I'd be amazed.
Was Rashford going the other way or something?
I don't know, but I don't. Well, no, we're going the other way. Where? Where to? What's
Napoli.
Napoli? Would Conte want? Maybe. I don't know. But
Conte as the Rashford as the. I mean, Napoli don't play like Tottenham did, but Heung-min Son did well, didn't he, under Conte?
Yeah, he did. He did with Kane.
He got Kvaratskhelia. He's never going to play.
I think they just got a lot of problems, and I don't think, based on what we've seen this far, as Ineos don't seem equipped to be able to deal with the problems at United. Really.
Okay, let's run through some more.
Yeah, go on.
We've got Rashford to West Ham from Dev Badger. Hello, Dev. Hope you're well. The Rashford one's interesting, man. Do you know what I was quite pleased? I did a video going like, oh, where could he go? And I just had this weird feeling Como might come for him. And then some reports came out last night that Como haven't they're sort of coming and having a little sniff. They're at the shops. They're at the cheese. They're at the cheese aisle. There's a Rashford blue there, and they're having a quick whiff, deciding if they want to purchase. That's if I think if the wheels fall off, he just goes to Como and like lives the life for like a wee bit. But he's the
cheese.
main man.
What is it? A wheel of cheese though? Is the wheel that falls off? Is it a wheel of cheese? And Como just going.
Yeah, just sticking their nose into it.
Parmigiano.
Have you seen?
Parmigiano?
Mate, have you seen that the Indian tailor who like smacks the people's bums when he's sorting out their suits?
No.
I'm amazed.
Why are you bringing that up?
I'm amazed you would see. Well, it's just the sniff thing that you're doing there.
Ah.
He sniffs their face. I'm amazed with the amount of TikTok you watch. You haven't seen
I've actually
that.
taken a bit of a
break from that. Good, mate. By the way, people, me and Flav are we're new beings. We can go into that in detail in the mailbag tomorrow. I think. Yeah. João Pedro. Oh no, that's not one. Isak to Arsenal. No chance. Newcastle are letting him go in January or the summer. Not sure I was thinking about this with Isak. Like, obviously, Newcastle got loads of money. They're not able to spend the amount of money that they want to overall. But when you can't spend as much as you want, right? What's the power like when it comes to being able to hold on to an asset like Isak?
In that you invest in wages. You could put money that you're not putting into transfers into wage packets and entice him that way.
Because Isak probably needs to get to a point. I don't know what his contract is. I'd have to have a look. If anyone could have a look for me quickly, that'd be interesting.
Oh, do it.
Thank you. Isak's got to. He has to think about his career too, right? So then there's going to become this moment where, look, I'm the best striker in the league. I want to be playing 1, Champions League football. 2, I want to be competing for trophies in the Champions League and domestically, and not being 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Now, like, Newcastle are doing really well at the moment, and
flying, yeah,
and the team, the way they play, really suits them. Like watching them on Tuesday, what I really liked about them was I was looking at their team and I was thinking, you've got, aside from the 2 centre backs, every player in that team could make a 30-yard burst to affect the game in some way. Like, there's no players that really stand still. Like, both fullbacks can bomb on, both wingers can bomb on, all 3 midfielders can bomb on. Yeah. Tonali's looking good as well. So, like, they're in a good place. But Newcastle aren't, obviously, and don't have the squad of, a Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal.
But I think they'll finish in the top 4. And I think if you get to Champions League football that's worth 60, 70 million pound, that means you don't sell Isak and you can invest in the squad. So that's what they're kind of banking on. It'll be, and I don't feel like Isak would. It doesn't. The mood isn't about Isak wanting to leave, is it? It's about clubs desperately for him to sign him, really. Yeah, and
it's so funny that, isn't it? They're thinking of that feeling that, look, I get it. You're doing really well over there, but come on. I think there's that patronising feeling sometimes, and also, like, I guess if the investment doesn't fit where he wants to get to, he could Sol Campbell them.
He's got 2008 So he's still got
really?
where are we? 3 years left on his deal.
Okay.
Or 2.5 years. No, 3 years. What's all right?
Okay.
2.5.
So 2.5. All right. So in the summer, then that's when you do go. No, in the summer it'll be 2.5. So yeah,
sign a new contract.
Yeah, decisions need to be made. Rashford to Lake Como, spoken about that, is a bit bizarre, but Como they got a bit of bunts. So Rashford.
They've also got one of the most beautiful places in Europe to live.
That is helpful.
And do you think I could see that in that? Have they got money? Have they well back?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Rashford to me, and the reason why I wouldn't want him at Tottenham, not that he isn't good enough. Clearly he is. 18 months ago, we were talking about, and that's how quickly football moves, maybe 2 years, 18 months, we were talking about Rashford being one of the best strikers in Europe. I remember sitting on Saturday Social on that, and they were talking about Rashford and him being one of the best strikers in Europe.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels like he's fallen out of love. He's shown very bright very early on, and you see it time and time again, unless you're a super special footballer like Messi or Ronaldo, it comes to a point where that passion leaves you, and it doesn't always, but I think it feels like his mannerisms, and who knows? What do I fucking know? I don't know, no clue, but this is what I'm guessing. Is he just fallen out of love a bit with the game? Like, if you're not excited about Amorim coming in, this new young coach, and how attacking they are, and how many goals Lisbon scored, why you wouldn't want to stick around for that and work and fight for it? Then what are you going to get excited about? Unless he's been broke, the promises that have been broken previously, if you believe the rumours, he's fallen out with every manager pretty much that he's managed at United. So it might be that he's a difficult character to deal with. I don't know.
It's funny, isn't it? But you feel like you don't know him at all.
That's right.
That leads to you being able to chuck out any. I'm not going to go at you. I'm saying everyone talks about him so much and is able to chuck out any theory, and it almost gets some footing, because if it's like Declan Rice, people go, well, I've seen he's a good bloke, and isn't he? He's a cheeky chappy, and I've seen him on that video, and he's like, he's charming and all this stuff. So, and he's a good lad, so it won't be him. It won't be for the want of trying, blah, blah, blah. Whereas Rashford, it's just like, I think that there's that disconnect there maybe a little bit. Same with Trent, I think, a little bit. Like, I don't think people seem to totally get him, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do get it. I do. I understand. He just, there is this. He's sort of in the public eye, but not. But he's done all the good work for charity, and he's sort of status went through the roof outside of football. He sort of transcended the sport.
But he doesn't feel real, does he?
No, yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. But also, he's got made some fucking poor decisions as well. Like decide like going clubbing or going out when not showing up for training and stuff like that, or like not turning up, or calling in sick. It was calling in sick on a Monday. It doesn't matter what's happening.
Andy Mitten, I think, has said that. He said that with every manager there have been some issues.
That's right.
Per edition said Mainu to Chelsea. When I did see that, I was like, I think there's a lot going on there. I might do a video on second channel on that one. What are your thoughts on the Mainu to Chelsea, or Mainu leaving full stop?
I think that the club, I think United would be, if that happens, it's only because Man United want it to happen. They want the money. They want to balance the books. They want PSR. They feel like he could. He's 19 years old. We don't know his talent. His ceiling. His ceiling, as it stands, is through the roof. He could be incredible.
Yeah.
But they're willing to forgo that for, I don't know how much would he fetch? Probably 50, 60 million.
Yeah, talk about 70.
That's a lot, but for
he's
someone
contracted
his age,
to 2028 as well.
Yeah, but James, it's rare for someone as young as him to feel so comfortable in the Premier League. And just it looks completely, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Is it like there's a question there of he? So the word that people keep using is the word untouchable. He's good, but is he untouchable? Like, is any midfielder untouchable? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Isak is untouchable. It's like, do not sell that lad, because you're going to have to play Anthony Gordon as a striker if you're not there, and that's not a long-term solution. So like, you don't want him getting injured, jaded, or sold. Whereas Mainu, as good as and they do need him, is he untouchable level? Is he that Gerrard, Lampard? There's no way you could ever sell this guy. I think it's a discussion.
Yeah.
Callum McAllister, no defensive midfielder to City. I just want to move on with my life. I think he's a Man City fan. Josh, this is my favourite. Josh Windass to Santos. Have you seen that?
No.
So Josh Windass, he's. I think it's
what
Sheffield Wednesdays. That's it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Has been linked with buying him. It's amazing.
Santos in Brazil.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
I love it.
Brazilian club Santos will have to up their bid substantially if they are to take attacking transfer target Josh Windass from Sheffield Wednesday. The Star understands, which is a Sheffield newspaper. I'm trying to get rid of this. Hang on. The Star understands those results to be true and can now reveal that there's been described as a 6-figure transfer, which comes a long way below Wednesday's valuation of the 10-goal man. Mad, isn't it, that? If you're... This is one of those stories that we'll get him on podcast and it will be the thing that they'll absolutely ask him down the road. You've got to push for that. If you're just in that, it's a short life and you're a sort of good championship player, you have to push for that move. And you go love. I know. Look, I know we're born and bred in Hull or wherever it was, and we're Yorkshire people, but we're going to Santos in Brazil. You've got to take that move. Have to. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
And that's about it for the crazy transfers. Would we like to finish on Queen's Park Rangers and how fucking brilliant we are?
I would love to, James.
See, I would love to as well. Now, QPR. Something's bloody happening here.
Let me just
think
take
we
you
might.
back.
I think we might win the league.
Good. I think. Let me just take you back to when did we? Was it? Hang on, no, I can tell you because it was QPR versus Coventry. I'll tell you exactly when this was. It was February 11th. No, it wasn't. 22nd of October, and we are practically 3 months on for that.
Yeah.
And look at the change, because let me tell you what James was saying on the way out. He was going, I just don't know. I'm just not sure. That centre forward is garbage.
Isn't it?
Still garbage, is he? Still garbage. He is actually still garbage, right?
Yeah, he's garbage.
Yeah, still garbage.
Well, he got injured.
Good. That's probably part of it. And look here. You're fucking flying.
Mate, so you can see our progress here throughout the season. This was a difficult period here, guys. Week 7 to week 13 was not enjoyable. Okay, just to be clear. There was the Coventry one. Lost 2-0 to Leeds. People thought he might go, and then we got the draw. I think we got the draw against Cov. Where's that? It was around this time. It might have been the Stoke game where we could be lifted. Might have been. That was the moment where we got lifted. And what's happened from there? As you can clearly see, we have been lifted. And now, do you remember the stat I've said to you? What we talk about a lot is our home form, right? Someone turned to me and said this to me. He said, we've won 5 home games on the spin. And I was just like, do you know what was another amazing moment? We played some amazing football. And so the camera, imagine I'm watching the game here, right? And if I look to my left, that's where my QPR people are. And Dan Hackney, shout out to Dan. We watched it. And we did this we played some great football and went down the other end. And I turned, and he went. And Dan looked at me and he went. He just went back to it. It was don't question it or talk about it. Just watch it and enjoy it. And do you know what I love about this story is the fact that we hadn't won all season. First 8 home games didn't win at home, and we were still chanting our manager's name. And he said, I've been in management 20 years and I've never heard that, and that will stay in my heart forever. And since that day, we've gone on a bloody run. Now, where can that end? Where can that end? I can't speak, and I won't speak, and I will never speak.
James, I will speak on your behalf.
But we are at the very least mid-table security.
Mate, 30. I mean, what? It's a big change from 16th.
Sure.
mate, you just got to keep going. You don't need to think about where you're going. You just hit game by game, draws, wins, pick them up slowly. A little sleeper hit QPR could be this season.
Yeah. That's
Coming out of nowhere. Don't worry about QPR. What QPR? Don't worry about it. They won't continue. Yes, they will.
Yeah.
You're Fuentes.
Yeah. I wanted to, with Swansea and Norwich, it's like, excuse me. It's like that, just quiet. It's not like I'm not wading through like the EFL. I'm wading, but I'm wading through the EFL. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sitting going, sorry, Swansea, is it all right if I just... Yeah, thanks.
You're
Norwich,
doing this?
Norwich. Yeah, we beat you 3-1 at home. Is it all right if I just get past? Thanks. That's what I want. That's what I want. Just slowly, just really quiet. Bristol.
Sorry.
Oh, Bristol. No, it's not even that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't dare go, oh, Bristol, you're right. It should be a game. It's actually just a nod. And it's this. It's QPR. You're Bristol. I'm QPR. It's Bristol. Go. That's what's happening.
Hey.
And and then all of a sudden he goes, hang on. Is that QPR? Yes, it is. Oh, do you know what? All I wanted, I think I said this to you. I wanted just a dangle of hope. Just show me a nipple. That's all. That's what I wanted. Just show me a nipple. And Marty, you've shown me a nipple. And whatever happens between now and the end of the season, as long as we don't fall like a stone, I can live with that. Because we could be lifted from the shadows. Lifted.
Lifted.
You know when I guess you took. See, for me now, I really don't want to talk about I don't. We all know my history with Rangers, okay, over the last few years. So, but every time we're kind of winning, it's like I feel like I'm going to burst a bit more. And if it gets somewhere, if it really gets somewhere, I'll be like, Come on,
Jim. I can't see from this angle, but you must still have that something's happening here.
Yeah, she's right there. She's right behind me.
Is it on? Because I think you started to turn.
Oh, it's on.
Is it on? Beautiful. And
surely not.
And if it does go tits up, you're built for this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you know what, I mean, that's where we're at. I just wanted I've been shown a nipple.
I know. Now you want to see the tits. Show me the tits.
Yeah. Can I see the curve?
Yeah. What the side boob? When you want to see side boobs?
I mean, side. You see side boobs when side boobs side boobs when we get into the top six. We're in the top six. That side boob, yeah.
So when are both breasts out and they're holding them like that for you to see?
And holding. Well, there's the Mount is the playoff final, and then holding them,
right,
holding them up, and gently jiggling them is when we win them.
When you was like second bottom, that's like Christmas. No, that's like woolly jumper on. Isn't it?
Yeah. No, there was an Under Armour layer, then a jumper, then a gilet, then a coat.
Yeah. Yes, a puffer jacket
and a scarf.
Yeah, and a scarf. But now you're saying, what are you saying?
I'm saying,
you're just seeing bra.
I've quickly been shown a nipple there. I've quickly been shown.
Yeah, I don't think you've seen a nipple.
It's been put back away because it's not like
that feels like a lot.
Yeah, but we're a long way away, which means that it's both possible and impossible. So I've been shown a nipple, but it's been put back because back in your box, Jimbo, right?
I think you've just been. She's just flashed the brasserie.
Oh, really? So I know it's there.
You know it's there, but you haven't seen a nipple yet.
Yeah. I've sort of seen the nipple, but I've not officially seen the nipple.
Yeah, it's did she mean to show that?
Yeah.
Did she mean to show me a nipple? I'm not sure, but I saw a little bit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So 26 games in, when am I 20? What position and how many games are we for me to fully see a nipple?
I think to see a nipple, you need to be within 3 points of the playoffs.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So when we're we're 8 points off at the moment. So say we won this FA Cup this week, which obviously will go out because it's the FA Cup. But then after that, if we then get to 6 points, what's that? Is that like there's been when like you undo the bra and it's sort of the bra itself is started to sort of drop and lose its structure. Is that what that is?
Yes, I think it is. Yeah, James. I've just had a thought. So. Everybody who's watching this, just the men. This is just for men, this request. should QPR be in a position where they are 3 points from the playoffs at any point in this season, Jim's got to see your nipples. Men only. Men only. And yeah, I don't need to be suggestive about it. Just want to see your nipples.
Okay, seems fair.
So you can send DMs. You can put it live on Twitter. It's up to you.
Final bit of news for me actually. We're talking QPR actually. I forgot to say this. I'm doing a shoot taking free kicks and stuff with QPR players on Tuesday.
Wasn't this something you was kind of planned, but when you were shit, it was never going to
Oh
happen?
shit! I was like, can we stop this now? And I thought at the time, if this gets cancelled again, we're really in trouble. Because they were going to push it to January. But now they're like, come on down, mate.
Come on. Yeah.
We're smashing in goals here, there, and everywhere. Don't worry about it.
Put some crisps. We'll put some crisps on. It was funny because someone said, like, what's hospitality like at QPR? There isn't any, is there?
Actually, I think no, there is. Yeah.
Oh.
It's
what could they possibly do?
well, it was when you had when we had what was his name, Briatore. That they kind of wanted it to become a boutique club, didn't they? So they actually put a lot of money into the hospitality. But the hospitality is adequate. It's
for the level.
Yeah, it's actually you've been there, Flav. Do you remember we did the for the Fan League Cup draw?
Yeah, it looked like.
Were you there for that?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's nice enough. Anyway,
if I speak.
Okay. Yeah, me too. When it comes to the Rangers, right? It's good to be back.
So what? Hang on a second. What are you doing these free kicks? What are you doing?
So I've got to do free kicks. I got
who?
I don't know who I'm playing with. But it's free kicks.
In your wildest dream, who will it be?
I'd like a bit of Jimmy Dunn. That would be nice.
Jimmy Dunn.
Who else would I like?
Jim, has he been around?
Mate, honestly, Jimmy Dunn now is like he's the heartbeat of our team. He's scoring loads of goals. He's nominated for Player of the Month for the Championship, and he's obviously a defender, right? Yep. And he is like, yeah, he's now being absolutely lauded by the fans every time because we're because we're winning, and that guy's nowhere to be seen. Oh, final story. I don't know if I've told you this. So I was going to our Premier League studio, and because it was Christmas, the coffee bit wasn't open at our office because it's a bit like a WeWorky place, and so I walked down the road to go into a coffee shop, and I walk into the coffee shop. There's Steve Cook and Jimmy Dunn sat having a coffee.
Where are you?
Right by my office, the Premier League office. In Chiswick.
So that's around that area, yeah? All right,
yeah.
okay, Chiswick,
And I walk in there, my arse fell out. Absolutely.
They known you as well. Once you introduced.
I don't know. I've tweeted about both of them a lot over the years. Steve Cook in particular. So I don't know what the truth is, but the moment had gone and I didn't know what to do. So I absolutely, because even though I'm, late 30s, I was like, oh my God, they're like they're QPR players. Absolutely shat my pants, which I think there's a positive in there, but also
there is.
Slightly
don't
ashamed
want to be
as
that
well.
Geezo, just,
Yeah, they just want to be left alone, don't they, as well? That's it.
Of course they do.
Right. Anyway, it's good to be back. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. A good reset pot there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Ancient monoliths, all that. And what else was it? Stings. Players at Stings, maybe. And anything else you want to chuck in the comments, make sure you do. And become a patron. We're going to do Patreon tomorrow afternoon, I think, Flav. Right? I'll get you guys a time specifically. Thanks for watching. Speak soon. Goodbye.
Legends. Bye-bye.